Okay, hey, I'm back. Now what we're going to do, down below our value scale, okay, now yours is going to be perfect and clean, right? It's not going to have any of these little circles on it. It's not going to have any flaws. It's not going to have anything out of the lines. Everything is going to be even and perfect, okay? It might look like a little exercise. It's kind of boring, but we want perfection here. Down below, you're going to draw 4 forms, all right? I'm going to give you a little bit of help on these forms. The first one that you're going to draw is a cone. To me, that's the easiest. You're going to take a straight edge, and you're going to draw it like an ice cream cone flipped upside down. So I'm going to draw myself a cone, 2 lines like a V, okay? Then I'm going to take the bottom of this, and I'm going to curve it. I just picked up a number 2 pencil. So now it looks like a cone of an ice cream flipped upside down. So if there's ice cream on it, it would melt all over the counter, okay? The next one I'm going to do that to me is pretty easy is a cylinder. A cylinder is like, you know, like the top of a cup or a mug, okay? Here's my coffee cup. And it has a ring at the top, 2 straight edges down the sides, and then it also has a curve at the bottom, okay? So that's kind of what I mean by a cylinder or a can. You're going to draw yourself a curve. I tend to draw lightly, and then I go back over it and fix it up. So there's my curve. Now I'm going to go darker so I can see it under the camera. Don't want to press too hard, though. Now I'm going to draw 2 straight edges. Okay? And then the bottom of it has the same curve as the top. So there's the bottom of my curve. My forms here that I drew, I have to fit 4 across. I don't want them so tiny like a quarter. They're a little bit bigger. I'm a girl, you know, they're about the size of the palm of my hand. Okay, if I measured it, it's about, what, 2 or 3 inches tall, okay? What, 2 inches wide. That's about what size we're going for. If you draw too big, you could overlap your forms, okay? That's not a bad thing. It makes it, it helps fill your paper better, but I don't want to see little bitty forms, okay? The last 2 things we're going to do is a cube. So to draw a cube, you're going to start with a square. So there's my square, okay? Then I'm going to draw 2 lines going back. I kind of freehand those. And there's another one here on the side, okay? Then I'm going to connect 2 of those diagonals. So that gives me the top surface and one down on the side. So that gives me the side of the cube. You could technically probably trace your square, okay, and make some little lines coming out from it if it makes that easier. Your last one is a sphere, a circle, okay? You could try to find something, like here's a bottle that I could trace. This one's a little too small. Here's a bottle of Tylenol. Maybe we could trace that. That's a little bit better. You could use the inside of a roll of tape. Mine won't fit on the page. I'm going to freehand it. I always draw kind of sketchy, okay? And then I go in and make it a little bit darker for you to see it. Please don't trace these really dark. Do not trace them with a Sharpie. The whole entire thing is done in pencil. Now, what you're going to do is pretend that that light square is a light source, like a light bulb shining down on all of these forms. So if a light bulb was shining down on this cylinder or cube or sphere, it would have light on the tops, right? The top and the right side. And the darkness would be on this side, on the left. And if you had a light shining down on these objects, you would also have what's called a cast shadow. All right? I'm going to turn on the flashlight of my phone and show you what I mean. I don't know if I can pick this up on video. Here's my bottle of Tylenol, okay? If my light is shining on the bottle, okay, on that sphere, okay, it would have light on the top and a dark side on the other side, and it would have a funky cast shadow. This one's really doing weird stuff. Your cast shadow would look like this, okay, coming down off of the shape or the form. All right, so that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to pick up my B's. I'm going to use a 2B because that's my favorite. I'm going to have the tops be light. Let's start with the cube. The cube to me is the easiest because it's flat. Okay, it has flat sides. So the top of this is going to be my light value. And I'm going to shade it very much like the value scale over here, one of the light values. I'm going to make it really neat. And I'm going to clean it up, keep it really light. Okay? Then down this side, I still would have some light here, but it would get a little darker on as it went down because of the shadow. So I'm going to turn my paper because that's how I draw. It's hard for me to draw. I've always gone horizontally when I shade. I have trouble going up and down. So you're going to have a little bit of a darker value down here. And then this corner up here is going to be a little lighter. And then this side is going to be a darker value. So you're just going to pick one of the darker values and you're going to shade it in. The whole entire thing. Edge to edge, corner to corner. Don't go this fast, otherwise I'm going to run out of time in this video and you'd have to watch another one. But I think you get the hang of it. This whole entire cube is going to be filled in with dark. Not the darkest, okay, but a darker value. On your cylinder and on your cone, they're very similar. You're going to have a light side, and it is slowly going to blend over to a dark side. Light side to dark side. So this side is going to be a little bit darker, and then it's slowly going to blend over. Okay, I think you get the hang of that. This blends over to this slowly. It also helps. I'm no Bob Ross. I can't paint really quick. Like this would take me probably an hour to do all of these forms perfectly, and I'm limited on our video time. So this would go, and it would slowly blend across. It also helps if you put some lines this direction. They're not straight horizontal lines. They're more of a curve because this is a curved surface. And you're going to work them over as you blend, okay? This is going to look the same. You're going to have dark blending over to a light, and then the top surface would look like your cube. The hardest one to do is that sphere, okay? So your light is shining down on this sphere. You would have a light spot at the top, okay? That's where my light is hitting. And then as it comes down, my values blend, but they also have to go on a curve. This is not a flat circle. This is a form, and we want it to look three-dimensional by blending. And we want the form to still be there. So think of it like contour lines, you know, around the form. And you're going to blend these across. You can see that I'm kind of doing like these little Y smiley face type marks as I shade. Okay, again, I'm going to run out of video time. But down here on the bottom, you're going to get a little bit darker. And then as it goes up, it gets lighter. And like I said, it's time consuming. It's not something you're going to get done in 5 minutes. You'll probably spend 5 or 10 minutes on each form, okay? Then the last things that I want you to do, the last thing, I still need to work up here a little bit. Lighten the top and do a little bit more blending with it. I've got some stray lines that are coming out of my sphere. Need to go in there and clean them up. Okay, get my eraser in there. The last thing that I want you to do is make cast shadows on these forms. So a cast shadow on a sphere is going to be something shaped like this, and it will be a gray value. So it's going to have a shadow like we talked about the cast shadows. You're going to have a shadow off your cube, right? Something that shape. And it's just, you're just going to pick a gray, a medium toned gray, and fill it in neatly, edge to edge, corner to corner. Okay. And then your cylinder, something like that. Okay. And your cone, mine's going to run off the page, is going to be cone shaped. You know, it takes on the form. Okay. Let me show you some that are absolutely beautiful. Now, in class, in person, you guys are lucky because you're virtual. You're working much smaller on that white piece of paper that is in your packet. Okay, get a nice white paper for this. Don't use the yellowy ones. They're hard to erase on. But my students in class did these. I can't even get it under the camera. This is 12 by 18 in size. They have their value scale across the top. Their forms are beautiful. Up here we have an issue. These are very similar, at least they're appearing that way on the camera. I think I get some glare from the light hitting the graphite. But these up here are a little too similar. They should get lighter, okay, as they go down and be lighter yet. So this person struggled with that. But as far as their values go on their forms, they did pretty good, especially that sphere. Here's another one. This person used a blending stump. They liked that blending stump. This person doesn't use the blending stump at all, and it is equally as beautiful, if not nicer. Their scale is gorgeous up at the top, okay? This got a little dark in comparison to the other forms, but the values are accurate. You know, they've got a light side, a medium, and a dark, but maybe that should be a little bit lighter just because these aren't as dark. This sphere looks a little flat because they've got some diagonal lines going. It should be more of a curve, okay? Here's another one done by a student that does not use a blending stump, graphite or the graph at the top, and their forms. And here's one I did many years ago, okay? So you can see the different styles that people have with their pencil. So you're going to complete this on a white piece of paper in your kit, okay, with these forms. You're going to upload it to Schoology for a grade. We know that it's going to be a little more time consuming. The second assignment is you're going to apply this knowledge of drawing a cylinder and shading it to drawing a roll of toilet paper. And there are examples in the assignment that you can look off of. Remember to show progress photos, that as you get partway, take a picture. Then when you're finished, take another photograph. Same with your toilet paper. We want to make sure it's yours. Take a picture of it halfway through. As you're sketching out your toilet paper, stick a roll in front of you, photograph it, do a little bit of drawing, photograph it, and then finish it and photograph it. Want to see progress. It helps us see stages of your learning, as well as a little proof that you did it.